Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show. And yes, today we're going to talk about West Tigers, how their season was. We'll do a season review right here, right now, and all the turmoil out of this with Benji Marshall taking over, Tim Sheens out the door, Justin Pascoe's in the changing rooms. He's on holiday. He's everywhere. He's not, when he needs to talk, he has disappeared out the window, and so much more. And obviously the injuries that really went south for this team, and very much a disappointing team considering the signings of Bateman, Api Coruscant, Isaiah Papali'i. It was supposed to be the start of the turnaround, but it ended up in misery. The West Tigers season was absolutely a debacle, to say the least, and they just never got hot during the season, the West Tigers, and really have a lot to work to do in 2024. Well, let's get to it. Yes, the West Tigers. Let's have a look at their season right here, right now on Barry Charles. Welcome, guys and gals, to the channel. Let's get to it. The 5-year plan, that turns into a 4-year plan, that turns into a 1-year plan. I don't know what happened there, but Tim Sheens is out the door. As his season curtailed, the team just got worse and worse and worse, and it was absolutely a schmozzle of a season. If we look on the footy field to start the season, 7 losses to start Tim Sheen's campaign. Do they wish they had gone another direction? Well, you probably would argue yes. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely. Is he out the door? Well, I think that's his last coaching gig. Nothing against the guy. Just with the Tigers, it was his time. I think the old generation is just about out the window. There's only a few of those types of coaches left. I think you're going to see a new age of coaches, and there'll be more like the Bennetts and the Trent Robinsons of this thing. I think the likes of Bellamy, who's done a great job, don't get me wrong. He certainly knows how to get his team going. But Ricky Stewart, for instance, those type of coaches, I think they're eventually going to be gone. Even though they're very passionate, don't get me wrong, but I just think we're seeing a change in the way society's going, and the old school is definitely struggling to work in this day and age. It can work for a few years. Look what happened with Michael Maguire. Yeah, so interesting for him to if he gets a New South Wales job, but that's for another day. Back to the West Tigers. Yes, obviously the board members fiasco here. That now that maybe the CEO and chairman might be gone after this review. Will that happen? Who knows? Probably not, to be honest, the way the West Tigers are going. But let's get to the actual footy team. Now, the completion rates for this team was 75%. Their average points scored was 16, but 28 in defence. So absolutely defensively went up to the task. As we look at top tacklers, 772 for John Bateman. So he did his work there. But when you talk about the top players getting 1,000, not good enough. Brandon Wakeham, top point scorer, 62. You know how bad a season you had when your top point scorer is 62. Stafford Toa with 7 tries for the year, is the highest top try scorer. You can see how bad the season went. But so there's a lot of work to do there. Obviously, being the Dragons, you thought they were on a roll after they beating Penrith 12 points late after losing the first 7. Looked like they were going to turn it around, but then it all went down the rabbit hole. Even though they were right, 20 points to 0, and you thought, oh, yeah, they're going to do it. They absolutely pummeled the Cowboys 66-18. But from there on, and it all went south, losing 74-0 to the Cowboys a month later, and only winning one more game to finish off the season against the Dolphins was absolutely a disgrace. Highlights of the year, Jahream Bula, yes, Mr. Bula, yes, the man. Absolutely outstanding. Was great to see from Jahream Bula, absolutely. He's the future superstar of the game. That's what we hope to see out of him. But yes, but outside of Jahream Bula and Alex Twal getting his first try, absolutely. That's a celebration for all you West Tigers fans out there. But now they want to get rid of him. What's doing, Benji? All that fiasco anyway. But what really went wrong in 2023? Well, for me, the biggest talking point for me was at this before the start of the season, before it even all kicked off, was Jackson Hastings was kicked out the door. John Bateman, I'm not playing with him. Well, if this is factual, well, clearly Newcastle Knights won because Jackson Hastings was outstanding for them, and they could have done with him when Luke Brooks and Aiden Sezer were out, and that is one of the big things. But I'm getting back to this John Bateman, well, he didn't really perform. He was absolutely nowhere near where he used to be. And West Tigers fans are thinking, not again, another player that's gone down the... Well, I'm hoping next season he turns up and plays better, John Bateman, because he should be a lot better than what he produced. And Isaiah Papali'i is another player that has gone south in a big way. Superstar on the rise, but has really gone downhill this season. He needs to turn it around. He needs support, though. No Adam Dewey, no Luke Brooks next season. Oh, well, yeah, this is there's a big issues happening at the Tigers. Be able to give Papali'i the space he needs. No Mitchell Moses now, but he was Dylan Brown. So that's something that also Papali'i will hope improves in 2023. The signing of Api was outstanding. Absolutely, that's positive to go out of the season. But then he got injured for a little while, so that didn't help. But that was at the end of the season. But Adam Dewey and Luke Brooks were all out injured. Adam Dewey for most of the season once he was gone. Big concerns, really. Big concerns for these players. For Tigers, obviously it didn't help when you take out your key players. But at the end of the day, they just weren't good enough. They were just stagnant. You got Stefano looking to maybe leave as well. They want to change his tune now. There's just no confidence in this team. It's as simple as that. They just seem to be a team that just, when the going gets tough, they don't get going. And Benji Marshall is going to have to find a way to turn that around in 2024 for West Tigers fans. And they really do need something because there's not much big signings for them. They probably got heaps of money and can't spend it. So there's a lot of issues with the West Tigers at the moment. Board level, can they get that up and get going? Yeah, Benji Marshall's a very rookie coach, so he's going to need all the help he can get around him. But for me, for West Tigers fans, it's up the top. That's where you need to see the real change. The CEO, chairman, out the door. They need new blood, people that know what they're doing, know how to run successful clubs. That's what the West Tigers need. They need a turnaround, and they need to turn around quickly because at the moment they're the basket case of the NRL. And they shouldn't be. They have all the West, Campbelltown area, all that area that they can have all these junior leagues, and they're providing a lot of talent out this side of Sydney. So there's a lot of talent out there for them to look at. They just need to really build on it. But West Tigers' season was an F. Absolutely, that's my ranking. Absolute demozzle of the season. Didn't ever get started. They had a little patch for a little while just before mid-season, but really they were never in the hope of making finals all season long, and it was just a train wreck of a season for you West Tigers fans. Jahream is obviously a positive, but the halves is a big question, big issue. If they can't find halves, I don't know if Api plays. There's a lot of issues around that. Obviously Aiden Sezer comes, that's something positive. But I will do a preview of all teams at the start of the season, before the start of the season. But I'm just doing a review show for now. So thank you so much for joining me here, Barry Charles. Just a little bit of a review of the West Tigers season. That was a bit of a debacle. But hopefully it's sunny seas for 2024 because they really haven't been much for the West Tigers for a long time. And get on the back of Benji and hope that his support staff can really help him get the West Tigers back to somewhere at least more competitive. Thank you for joining me here at Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe.